Hey, Stellan cousins, you already know what time it is. Boom, 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 boom. The horror stories animated. Right? Right. I'm like, the light is really low, but I think it's just because it is. I think it's just really, it's like that because of the light outside, you know? It's getting warmer, but it's okay. Like, does that even change anything? It's okay. I'll leave it because why not? Okay, three animated horror stories by who? I am our scary tales. The home, the homies, the homies. What kind? Three OnlyFans ones. Why? Because they're interesting to me. You will always see some Omegle. You will always see some OnlyFans. You will always see some Tinder, Hooters, anything dating like that. Hooters, they just be weird. So, yep, you'll see them too. And dark web, you will always see them on here. And I think the few foster home ones, and yeah, you will always see those. Every time I see those, boop, save so I can record. This bonnet looks so funny for a second. Yeah, I'll always save so I can record it. Cause what? I don't know. That stuff just interests me. So yes, let's get right into it. Three OnlyFans horror stories, and it's like crazy to me because I'm like, this platform has not been around for that long for all of these horror stories to have happened. You know, so say creepy,
They
creepy,
said,
creepy.
be
Oh,
careful.
sorry. Go on and get your waters. Go get your blankets. Go get your blunts and go get your snacks. Please and thank you. I love you guys. Let's get into it.
They said, be careful what you wish for. I never thought I will understand this the hard way. My wife Selena and I have been married for almost 5 years now. We met in the same workplace and fell for each other.
That's
I was a
cute.
senior to her, so within the next few years, I got promoted to a big job role and had to shift to a new place. Selena had to quit to move with me, and I felt really bad that she had to give up her job for me. She tried to land new jobs here, but luck wasn't in her favor. Though we were well off depending on my job, I realized she was frustrated losing her financial independence. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go over the line, so I never pushed her to join jobs with my recommendation. If I was in her place, I would have felt obligated too in that matter. So, after I left the office, she was alone in the house all day. A few weeks went by like this, until one Sunday afternoon changed our lives forever. I was sitting on the balcony smoking a cigar when I heard Selena talking to her friend, Kayla. I could only hear what she said, which went like this.
Oh, please. You know I will never do that, Kayla. Yeah, right. You are such a flirt. Please, that's not my idea of fun. No thanks, but you please be safe. I've heard websites like these can get you in trouble.
They can.
Yeah, bye.
After she disconnected the call, I couldn't hold my curiosity. So I asked her, what was she and Kayla talking about? She told me her friend Kayla runs an OnlyFans account. Not having the slightest idea about this website, I kept glancing at her with a blank face.
You know, where women can earn money from followers.
So, these followers just pay you?
Obviously not. You have to fulfill their wishes.
Or what wishes?
You know, flirting with them and sending them private pictures.
What? Really?
Yeah, but it's all in your control. Like, if you don't want someone bothering you, then you can remove them and stuff like that.
How much is Kayla earning from all this?
Well, about $50 to $100 a day.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, she
It's
was
so-
telling me to do OnlyFans
It's
until I
so
land a new
different
job.
for men.
Then, why aren't you?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, of course.
You want your wife to share her private pictures with strangers for money.
No, not your pictures. I have a great idea.
Period.
You're
Get
confusing
crazy.
me.
I fired up my laptop on the tea table and
You're,
asked Selena to sit beside
you're
me.
along the right
And then
path,
I
Arthur.
explained to her my plan. Let's say you create an account in this Onlyfans site. Now, you add followers and talk to them. They ask you to send your private pictures, but instead of sending your snaps, you can always download from Google and other sites. You know, from where? No one will know it's not you and some other chick.
Exactly.
Think about it. You'll earn as much money as any other user, right?
I don't know. Sites like this are jam-packed with creeps.
That's why this plan is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
The creeps are seeing some other chick, and you get the money. Come on, it'll be fun. Also, I'll be right beside you. It's easy money, Selena. Think about it. She thought about it and eventually agreed. In the next few hours, I created her account, put a profile picture of a girl wearing a swimsuit facing her back at the camera. We added some more pictures that were randomly selected from the internet, but enough to grab attention. I was stunned by the growth of her account in such a short span. She gained 2,000 followers in just 3 weeks and started interacting with them. Sometimes we even made fun of people in chat by asking for more money. And some people were willing to pay anything just to see naked pictures.
They do.
It was a mundane
crazy.
Tuesday night. I was watching TV when I heard Selena say,
Whoa, what a freak.
I immediately looked at her and saw she was staring at my laptop with a cringed face. What's wrong?
God, this dude is creeping the hell out of me. Why is he sending me pics of his hairy chest?
I sprung towards her and looked at her OnlyFans account. Maybe he wants you to count them.
Ah, not funny, Arthur.
What's the big deal? Just remove him from your followers list.
He's asking me to send pics of my bare back.
Download one from Google and ask for $100 in return. I expected the man will go away after hearing the amount for only one pic. But surprisingly, he paid the money without saying anything. But as soon as he opened the picture, he sent a pretty disturbing text to my wife. This guy named Lone Wolf 69 said, "This isn't you. I want to see the real you."
Arthur, what the shit is this? How did he know?
Relax. Let me talk to him. I took the laptop from her and texted, "Of course it's me, darling. What are you saying? Do you want more photos?" What the man said next swept the ground beneath my feet. "Let me talk to your wife. I have no interest in talking to her husband."
Oh!
How the hell?
But before Selena could finish her words, the laptop screen got covered with glitches.
Oh! Now they
Our
got your
webcam
address.
turned on, connecting us to a video call. I don't know how it happened, but the only possible explanation was that we got hacked by this Lone Wolf 69.
Yep.
A red room opened on our screen. At first,
A red room, it looked black.
But slowly,
Oh!
a figure started to appear from the darker corner. As soon as it came to light, my wife screamed in horror. It was an old man dressed like a little girl. He had braids tied with ribbons, wore a tattered pink frock, and had red lipstick smeared all over his mouth that made him look vicious.
Girl,
His attire
if you
made
don't
my
just
skin
take a
crawl.
picture of your
He
back.
grinned at us real big and said, "You can't fool me." How did you? It doesn't matter how I did it.
It
What
does.
matters is what I'm going to do next. He looked at
They
Selena,
both matter.
who was sobbing in fear sitting beside me, and ran his fingers on the camera as if he was running them onto her body. "You freak!" I tried to close the website and even turn off the laptop, but nothing was working. "You can try, silly boy, but you can't get rid of me so easily." He then got up from the screen
Who's
and started
that?
to drag something towards us that was lying on the ground.
Don't let that be
What
Kate.
happened next was beyond our imagination. He dragged a woman from the ground who seemed to be tied and made her sit in front of the screen.
Oh my god, Kayla!
Oh, okay, Kayla.
Now you
I knew her
know
name
what
started with a
happens
K.
when you try to fool your fans.
She was fooling people too.
We had no idea how he reached Kayla, but considering his hacking skills, it wasn't hard to guess that he knew more about us than we knew about him. Kayla was in tears, but couldn't cry as her mouth was duct taped. The man then picked up a trimmer and started to shave Kayla's head in front of our eyes. I wanted to call the cops, but what will I report to them? We don't know anything about this man's whereabouts. Still, I dialed 911 on my phone when the man screamed, "If you call the cops, I will slit her throat and gouge out her eyes right in front of you."
Please, stop this. Let my friend go.
Selena said while pleading to him.
All this
I
over.
kept the phone down after being threatened by this psycho.
All
He
this
then
over some
shaved
fake
Kayla's
pictures.
eyebrows and licked her cheek while looking right into our eyes. Poor Kayla.
I would have died
I could
from
only
throwing up
imagine
and
what she
choking
was
on it
going through at that point.
because of the tape.
He then grinned one more time and said, "Don't worry, I'll let her go. She is not the one I want. It's your wife." I want to see how she looks inside of those clothes for real. Goodbye, Arthur. I'll see you soon, Selena. And then he kissed the cam like he was kissing my wife.
Ew, get your ass back.
We sat down in silence, trying to anticipate what just happened. I eventually called the cops, and they started looking for Kayla, who was last seen shopping at the supermarket that day. 2 days went by, and then one night, we heard a loud banging on our door. Thinking it was that man trying to abduct my wife, I came down with a baseball bat while Selena picked up a kitchen knife. But as we opened our door, we found Kayla lying on our porch and saw a speeding black van drive away. She was unconscious and had various injuries all over her body. The cops were called and they interrogated her about this man. Kayla said she was putting groceries in her car when someone hit her from behind. What happened after that isn't hard to guess. I just hope this man gets arrested soon before he attempts to abduct my wife.
That's so
Currently,
crazy.
I don't have a profile on any social media. The reason behind this is that I no longer have any interest in using them because I don't trust them anymore after the attack I received months ago. A few weeks after I moved to college, I realized something important. I needed some other source of income. My parents were making a big effort to pay for everything that was necessary, and I was very grateful for that. Still, I couldn't help but think that I was missing something. I wanted to party, buy things, and have lunch in nice places, but I just didn't have the money for it, so I started looking for work. Since I applied to several interviews without getting any success, I had a new idea.
I appreciate her
Work
for
on social
looking for
media.
jobs instead of
Some
just asking her
friends had
parents
told
for
me
more money.
about how much they earned on Onlyfans, so that seemed like a good option. I had everything. My body was slim and attractive, and my other social networks had many followers. I just had to create an account and start. But when I was about to do it, I realized that I wasn't comfortable exposing myself like that. I had nothing against women doing it. It was just that I personally didn't want to. Searching for some other options, I discovered that the traffic of images of feet on OnlyFans was high and very well paid. So finally, I did it. I created a profile. I advertised it on my other social networks, and I started receiving money thanks to my beautiful feet. In the first few weeks, it wasn't too much, but I was fine with it. One afternoon, a large amount of money arrived. Surprised, I realized that a person had given me a tip. In gratitude, I decided to write to them.
What'd
The
they say?
username was FeetLover02. Thank you very much for the tip.
I'm the one who should be thanking you. Do you sell exclusive photos?
The question took me by surprise.
I want one, just for me.
At first, the request made me feel a bit uncomfortable, but I soon convinced myself that it was a normal thing on OnlyFans. I finally accepted it and sent some exclusive photos to the person, who paid me a good amount of money, which made me very happy. After that, every day, the user contacted me at the same time and asked me for a new exclusive photo.
They are so fucking perfect. Perfection.
He's gonna try
in a
to chop
photo.
your feet off.
Their comments gradually became more weird, but I just ignored them.
I wish I could see them in person.
The moment
Block.
I saw that message, that's when I couldn't take it anymore. I don't do that kind of stuff.
I could pay you lots of money.
Their insistence made me very uncomfortable. I'm not going to accept. Please don't insist.
I need
Period.
help.
I couldn't believe what was happening. Stop it. Unfortunately, it seemed I had met a weird and sick person. What's wrong with you, you sick bastard? Before I could block them, another message arrived.
They will be mine, June.
I panicked the moment I saw my name written on the message, but I felt even worse when I deduced that the person had to be one of my followers who knew certain information about me, for example, the university I was currently in. Overwhelmed with fear, I decided to delete my OnlyFans account and everything I had posted about it on my other social networks, which calmed me down for a few weeks. I didn't tell many people about the incident, as it made me so nervous that I preferred to just forget about it. But when I thought it was over, the exclusive images that person had purchased were sent to all my accounts. The accounts were newly created. Clearly, they were doing it to torment me. Blocking every one of those accounts didn't make me feel any better. In fact, I began to feel in danger. I
It's just some
became
feet.
paranoid. I
Thank
couldn't
God
even
you
go
didn't
out
do
with my
another
friends
account.
or acquaintances because I didn't trust them. What if one of them was Feet Lover 02? What would they do to me? I couldn't get the last message they wrote me out of my head. They will be mine. Not me. They just meant my feet. The weeks went by, and my closest friends became more and more worried about me. They said it wasn't healthy for me to stay in the campus dorm most of the time. I was still very scared, but one night, I finally agreed to go out with them. Even though
what
I
happened?
stayed alert, I was able to relax for the first time in weeks. It was really fun. Unfortunately, I was still suspicious, so when they told me they could walk me to my bedroom if I wanted, I said no and went alone. After all, the dorm was very close, and I had bought pepper spray to defend myself. When I entered the dormitory building, I was hit on the head and passed out.
Wake up, Sleeping Beauty.
My vision was blurry, but
Girl.
I was able to see a young man in front of me. He
I'm
had
worried
his
about
face
your damn
covered.
female
Did
friend.
you sleep well? I hope so. With that energy, you might be able to handle what I'm about to do.
What? Who?
Don't you recognize me? I'm your good friend, Feet Lover 02.
He's gonna
Or
cut
at
your feet
least,
off.
we were friends until someone decided to stop talking to me. Right, June?
After listening to him, I was finally able to fully wake up and realize the situation I was in. That young man had brought me to my room and tied my hands together behind my back. My feet, meanwhile, were tied to the ends of the bed.
Looks like someone already noticed. If you don't mind, I'm going to put this on you.
He covered my mouth with tape to prevent me from calling for help. I tried to scream anyway.
Stop, or I'll be less nice to you. I promise I'll cause you more pain.
My heart was beating very fast. I was terrified.
This is all your fault, June.
No,
You
it's
had
not.
the opportunity to give them to me without it being against your will. But you chose this.
Like, sir, you
This
want my
is your
feet.
choice.
You don't be out here with nubs.
I looked at him while I remained still. He was beyond sick. He
Beyond.
was absolutely insane.
Bet you already guessed what I'll do. But I'll tell you anyway, June.
I
I
guessed it.
told you you would be mine.
You didn't
So-
say me.
I'm going to cut off those pretty feet of yours.
I knew it.
Soon, they will be all mine.
In the middle of the panic, I could tell that I had already heard that voice before, but I was so scared that I didn't remember who it belonged to.
Enough talk. Let's begin.
At that moment, I
you
began
know
to
them?
move my body as much as I could. I couldn't let him do it.
I told you if you do something, I will hurt you more.
I had to stop, because if there was a way to escape, it wasn't this one.
Oh, my perfect feet.
He just stared at my feet for a long time. He even seemed like he forgot about me. That's how I managed to figure out what to do. When he brought out the saw he planned to cut off my feet with, I let him. The pain was terrible,
you
the
did.
worst I had ever felt in my life. But while he was distracted doing that, I untied my hands. There was a lot of blood by the time I managed to grab the blade I had kept under my bed in case I was attacked. Quickly, I stabbed the blade into the side of his torso, and as he writhed in pain, I untied my feet.
The
I
other
ran
one?
out of the room screaming as my mouth was
What are
no
you
longer
running
covered.
on?
The people who
What are
came
you
out of their
running
rooms
on?
were shocked to see the trail of blood that I left on the floor. After the incident, my foot was able to recover, but not me. Even if my attacker, the youngest son of a neighbor, had died that night, I wouldn't feel safe.
Youngest son
For
of
this
a neighbor.
reason, I deleted each of the profiles I had on social networks. I dropped out of university and returned to my parents' house.
That's ridiculous.
I never wanted to be alone again. Many times, people have asked me how I have so many followers on social networks and how lucky they would be to have the same amount of people. A few years ago, I would have felt flattered and said that I am very lucky. But today, I know that it can be a curse. Being a popular girl on social media, one is exposed to all kinds of nasty comments. I lost count of men who said obscenities or asked me for nudes. That wasn't something I would do, but it was fun to upload provocative photos to my account. So, of course, when I discovered the existence of Onlyfans and the possibility of monetizing it, I created an account without thinking twice. After a few months, my account had already exploded.
I hate the hiccups.
It was a total success. I was surprised by the amount of money I could earn doing something I like. Also, to my surprise, the clients were quite polite and reserved, as if the ones saying obscenities were just teenagers who couldn't pay for my photos. Among all of them, there was one customer in particular who always bought my photos. He started being polite, thanked me, and treated me well, until one day I opened my inbox, not knowing that this day would be the last day I would use my account.
Hi. I'd like to know what you do uploading such provocative pictures outside of OnlyFans.
With all due respect, I don't think it's any of your business,
At all.
I wrote, angrily.
Yes, it is my business, since I pay to see your pictures. The fact that others touch themselves looking at your pictures for free seems very disrespectful to a long-time customer like me.
I'm sorry you feel offended, but the content I upload to OnlyFans is different. If you still don't like me uploading photos to my normal account, don't buy from me anymore. Thanks.
Exactly.
Listen to me, you ungrateful bitch. Do you know how much I paid for your photos? If I see you giving them away for free, then you owe me that money, and I want you to pay me back.
Have a good life,
Boy.
weirdo. With that said, I blocked him and got rid of the problem. One of the advantages of anonymity is that if you don't like someone, you can block them. I admit that at the time, those messages made me feel really bad, but I tried to pretend that I was strong and say that it didn't affect me. I decided to go take a hot bath to forget about the jerk. When I came back, I would start studying for an algebra exam. When I returned, the relaxation I had vanished the moment I opened the computer and saw my notifications. My screen was full of messages, all from different accounts, with the message "ungrateful bitch" and my home address at the bottom. Panicking, I cried and blocked all the accounts and deleted all the messages, but they kept popping up. Not knowing what was going on, I received a video call on Skype.
Why would you answer?
And hesitantly, I answered it, turning off my camera.
Do you still think it's a good idea to block me now, you little bitch?
He spoke without the webcam, in a violent but arrogant tone. How do you have my home address? Why are you doing this to me? I said in tears.
Because people like you deserve this.
What? What did I do?
Don't play innocent now. You're living to tease other men. You pretend to be nice via messages, then you talk to 20 other men.
His tone denoted contempt. This man believed every word he said to me. We are nothing. I can talk to whoever I want anytime I want. Who do you think you are to tell me who I can talk to?
You're wrong. We are something. I'm your client, and the client is always right. You shouldn't have blocked the client.
You're a psycho. Leave me alone or I'll call the police. I yelled at him.
And what will you tell them? That a man is saying bad words to you on the internet? Let me give you a good reason to call the police.
Then the man turned on his webcam, but I didn't see his face.
No,
what I
no.
saw frightened me more than any other image. I remember how my blood froze. I was paralyzed with fear, and I was so shocked that I couldn't even get tears from my eyes.
That's your house,
This man's camera was showing my house.
You shouldn't have blocked me,
he said in a dry and low tone. Suddenly, I felt very dizzy and felt like throwing up. My head started to hurt as if it was being slammed against a wall. It was hard to breathe normally, and I started hyperventilating.
Yeah, to calm down and get
something. I called the police
something.
as fast as I could, without losing sight of the man, who I could now see through my window, just standing there, looking in my direction. The police told me they would get there as quickly as possible, but I decided to film him with my cell phone in case he tried to escape. But when my camera was pointed at his position, the man was no longer there. Instead of him, I saw only my mother coming in after shopping. Mom, get out of here! Go, run to a neighbor's house. There's a man trying to break into the house. I shouted in desperation. She barely reacted to what I shouted. Her face was still one of surprise and confusion when, out of nowhere, the man came out of a bush with a baseball bat and started hitting her wildly in the body.
Ugh, I knew it. I knew it.
Help! Cried my mother desperately. Leave her alone, sicko! The police are on their way. They're gonna kill you for this. Please, somebody help us. He's beating my mom. I screamed at the top of my lungs, crying both from helplessness and from seeing what they were doing to my mother.
This is your fault, too. This is what happens to you when you raise a fucking whore. Do you like her? Are you like your daughter? She probably likes to be beaten, too. Please, stop.
I barely heard my mother whisper, no longer strong enough to scream.
Do you see this? This will also happen to your father, to your siblings and friends, even to the stupid cat you have in your room. This will happen to all of them if you ever send pictures of yourself to anyone else. Can you see this? This is your fault. From now on, you are mine and only mine,
shouted the man, while he was still hitting my mother, who had already lost consciousness.
Like, what are you doing?
I was still screaming in despair, crying uncontrollably. Many of the neighbors were looking out the window, but none of them decided
Everybody's
to come
just
out
watching?
and do something. I shouted at them,
I
but
hate
once
some
I looked in their
bystanders.
direction, they went back to hide in their houses. Luckily, the stalker was so furious that he didn't see the police car coming, and when he did, it was too late. The man dropped his baseball bat and ran desperately, but one of the two officers caught up with him in a matter of seconds and knocked him to the ground.
I will be back. You'll see. No bars are going to stop me. You're mine.
He shouted with anger, but at the same time, some resignation. The other police officer stayed behind, calling an ambulance for my mother, who did not know if she was still alive. I ran downstairs with the officer, and when I saw my mother, I began to hug her, crying. A few days later, my mother was in intensive care. Luckily, she had only received a few blows to the head, so I assumed that everything that happened was a warning from the stalker, but it got out of control. Shortly after, I found out that the man had been released from prison. Fortunately,
What do you
he
mean?
was not released to the streets, but was again locked up in a mental institution. This person was still obsessed with me, screaming my name at the time of sentencing and as the cops took him away. When we returned home, we decided to move, and despite having quit social media, there is not a day that goes by that I don't look out my window in fear, waiting to see this man standing in my backyard, looking at me again.
This was so crazy. Why? Because, like, they put him in a mental institution. And here, at least, any one that doesn't say true, I don't be taking it as too true. What, put them in a mental institution, and they be leaving those things, right? They be escaping the mental institutions. So if this was the real story and I was the person, I would be so upset. But I have the hiccup, so I'm going to end this soon. So I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And bye.